we're going to go to this country, we're going to give dawah, we're going to connect with these guys. What happens? What's the routine?
Yeah, it's so much harder than what you see later on, what people see in the video, which is all the nice things, and that's it. There's so many problems in between. Latest mission, so many even pills that we had to take for the altitude, oxygen, so many things. Not much sleeping. We had to drive maybe, I don't know, more than 24 hours, I'm sure. I remember in Ecuador, in the Amazon, the indigenous people, the women, they make their own alcoholic drink. They get something called, I think it's the yucca, and they chew it, and then they spit it somewhere, and they wait until it ferments. When we went there, one of the women offered that to us. This time they know now, so they didn't wait for that to ferment. But it was still the spit. So Bassem said, I'll have some.
Yeah, just
and he had one for all of us.
Yeah.
And I escaped.
I overheard in the office that there's a masjid in the jungle.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes, it's true. There's a new Muslim community in the Amazon rainforest over there, and we said like a small masjid dawah center.
When you hear at the times of the Prophet, peace upon him, when they built the masjids, having the physical, putting each brick down.
Yeah, all the sweat, effort, exercise that you need to do is really, really nice, and to pray in a place that you are.
Yeah, that you've built. Yeah, it must feel amazing. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to another episode of Rerouted, the best podcast on YouTube. Now today we got today we've got Andreas. Assalamu alaikum, bro.
Wa alaikum salam.
Welcome to the podcast. It's me today. I'm the host, but before, how long ago was this? You're on Rerouted before?
Maybe 2 years ago.
2 years ago, right? So tell me about that episode.
Yeah, it was
apparently the cameraman was the guy.
Yeah, Mohsen. It was usually with Musa. I remember how he started saying, "I'm not Musa, Adnan, I'm Mohsen Mustan." It was a very funny episode. I remember I was nervous, of course. I'm not usually in front of the cameras, but he was so nervous that he made me comfortable. After seeing everything he was saying, screaming, doing, that was like, okay, it was so funny that he helped me a lot. I don't know if he did intentionally or not intentionally, but it was good.
So the reason we got you on again, because there's parts of your journey and parts of your dawah experience and stuff that wasn't covered, so we kind of want to talk about that today. So you've been a Muslim for like over 10 years, haven't you? A long time.
Yeah.
But I heard, I don't actually know your journey that much. I did watch that episode, but it was years ago, and most of it's gone, to be honest. So I'm going to rewatch it, and you can too. Link down below. So bro, I heard that when you first became Muslim, you really soon, straight away, looked for knowledge and went to Medina University. Is that right?
Yeah, yes.
How soon was it after Shahada to university?
I think it was less than 2 years, and that was only because in the first year I applied a bit late. Like I mentioned in the other episode, I'm from Uruguay. There's accept Islam without knowing anyone. There was no mosque where in Uruguay. I was learning online, but it was a bit confusing, and I wanted to really know at least the let's say the basics. Of course, I won't be able to be like a scholar. I'm not saying I'm not. Allah, if I try to, inshallah, Allah can do whatever He wants with any of us. But I was thinking at least get the basic knowledge to be able to live like a normal Muslim. I was thinking.
Yeah, because I can imagine if there's no masjid, there's no community. I mean, it's probably before online stuff, wasn't it? So you're just on your own with maybe badly translated books.
Exactly.
You know? So
yes.
mashallah.
Yeah, exactly.
So what was your experience like at Medina?
Oh, it was overall excellent. Really good. Of course.
Did you specialize in anything, or what was it?
Dawah and theology.
Oh, mashallah.
Yes. So I did 2 years Arabic, and then the faculty was Dawah and theology.
Yeah.
It has, funny moments, getting used to the culture as well. There's many, let's say, strange moments.
Yeah.
Some things like us, usually if you go to another country to live, things that will annoy you as well that you're not used to.
Like what? Don't skip that.
For example, queues. Like many people don't know how to queue.
Can't do it. That would really annoy me.
Yeah, if you need something, I need to queue, and there's everyone is everywhere,
Everyone's
and
pushing in.
it's very close to each other. That means touching each other, and with all the heat, and then, like some things are not pleasant. And I'm not saying, of course, everyone over there is like that, but because Medina is, or the University of Medina is a very international place, and the University of Medina is a global place as well. So you
That's
have
what
people
I was
from
ask
everywhere.
next, actually. Yeah. So the students, did you like? What was the sort of diversity in this with the students?
I haven't seen anywhere more diverse, and I remember there were some students from the UK, from London. I remember some revets that were saying, well, where I come from, in my school, there's also like some people from Pakistan, some from Italy, some from here, but it wasn't there. If you count 2-3 rows, maybe that you wouldn't find 2 students from the same country. And in the Arabic Institute, everyone was from completely different.
I love
place.
it.
Yeah,
that's the beauty of Islam, isn't it? I was talking to some like I've got a little revert group I'm in, so we do a bit of support, and I was saying that what Islam does, unique to anywhere, is bring people from all different backgrounds that wouldn't like each other normally and wouldn't get on with each other, and it puts them together. Yeah. And that's what's such a beautiful thing about Islam. I'd love to see that classroom, lots of different nationalities and stuff. Was there any Spanish speaking people?
In my class, I was the only one, but there were other Spanish-speaking people. Yes, at university, throughout let's say the 6 years, maybe there were 10, I think, or something like that, from different places. Some from Mexico, some from Venezuela, some from Spain, some from Chile, Argentina. But there were a few. A very small group. Latin America is the minority, of course, in that. Yeah. But there's a few Spanish-speaking people. Yes.
But in Latin America, I heard that Islam's spreading like wildfire. Like, we'll come to that though. Yes, I want to talk more about Medina, but we'll come to that definitely. Yeah. But anyway, so at Medina, when you first went, how did you feel? Were you really scared? I mean, I would be. Like, it's a real big life change, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, first leaving my family, leaving studies. I was studying at uni there, so I stopped. It was a completely life changing. It was like jumping off from not knowing where to land. I remember the first class, my first Arabic class. I entered the class. The teacher entered, then started speaking for 15 minutes, and then he said something, and he looked at me. I didn't know what he was saying, so I knew there was a brother behind me from Sierra Leone, and I knew that he speaks English because I had spoken a little bit. So I said, what is he saying? And he said, he's asking if you are understanding. And I said, tell him I only understood Assalamu alaikum at the beginning. I didn't get absolutely anything else. Yeah. But it was slowly. It was, mashallah, it was good.
Yeah, awesome, man. It's like really getting in the thick of it.
Yeah.
Being forced to. I can imagine there's like this mixed feeling of being really excited for the benefits of the future, but really nervous and anxious about what to expect and stuff like that.
Yeah. And at that time there was no smartphone. Remember that even smartphones right now look like they've been here forever, but they haven't been here forever. When I got there, students would walk half an hour to a cyber cafe there to then chat for half an hour in that whole week, maybe with their families, then come back. It was quite a lonely place in a way as well.
Did you manage to make quite a lot of friends and companions?
Yeah. Elsewhere, everywhere. Yeah.
So once you finished Medina, what was your goals?
I always went to Medina to learn myself, and also to go back to my country and to spread the message as well. And in fact, the community had that expectation as well. And I don't know if they're still angry with me not being there right now, but that was but then in the end I ended up in the UK. But alhamdulillah, I'm still very linked to the Da'wah, and we're still doing things in Latin America, so alhamdulillah, Allah finds the place for each person.
Exactly. So how did you find out about IERA, and how did you get involved in IERA then?
I don't remember the first contact, but I had already seen some videos online from the people that were in Speaker's Corner, like Sabur, like Hamza, several of them. And they went to Medina to deliver a Dawah training.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah,
While you were at uni?
While I was at uni.
Wow.
And there were many students from the US. So from Germany, from the UK, from the USA, from different places, and a few from Latin America. And I was there as well. That was my first personal contact.
That must have been when they just started.
Yeah, I think they were, It wasn't like the first year, but they were very small compared to what higher it is now. And I remember I told Sabur, when are you going to Latin America? When are you going to Uruguay? He asked everyone to write a paper saying, what are you going to do after this course? And I mentioned quite a few things, and one of them I wrote, I'm going to force Sabur to come to Uruguay to do Dawah there. Because I was asking, but I think Ira wasn't capable at that time to do things like that. So he wasn't saying, yes, I'm going. So I wrote that. He remembers until today that I wrote that thing. And in the end, I went with Sabur to Uruguay and we did Dawah over there.
Oh, mashallah.
Then after Medina, I came here. I was in contact with Sabur, met him quite a few times. Then we did a trip together to Latin America, and then it all started. Yeah.
Awesome. So how did the people of Uruguay, how did they receive the message? Lots of countries, that they got different cultures to, like, so in some countries they're really welcoming. They go, yeah, what you got to say? The others would be like, no, it's against our tradition. So what sort of vibe has Uruguay got? A lot of the people watching probably not unfamiliar with Uruguay as a culture and stuff.
Yes, and many make, like, if they hear Latin America, I think everyone is the same, but that's not. It's like that's like saying all Europeans are the same, or all Asians are the same. It's very different. I would say they are open, because Uruguay is made up of immigrants, or the descendants of immigrants from mainly Spain, Italy, but many other countries, could be France, Germany. There's a mix. And they are not, it's not like the German community in one side, the Italian. They are like, maybe you have a Spanish surname, Spanish descendant father, Italian descendant mother. It's like a mix. So they don't care that much about those things. They are very open to different cultures.
So they're not tribal.
No.
When I say tribal, as in like, no, we're these people, you're their people.
No, they are not. So they are open. They know that they don't know much about Islam except what comes in the news. However, at the same time, if we see like the whole Latin America, I would say that the south of Latin America is the hardest. And maybe it's because of that European kind of culture. My experience is that the native indigenous people in Latin America are much more open, much more friendlier, much more humble as well. I'm not trying to say people in Uruguay are arrogant, but they like it's very pleasant to speak to them.
What sort of beliefs do the native people of Latin America have?
Nowadays, most of them are Christian because of what happened. But they have, it's a bit strange because we hear that they believe in many gods. And the Pachamama, for example, in the South America, the Pachamama is like the mother nature, we would call it that. It's like a god. However, if you go a bit deeper, they say that there's one god, there's the creator of absolutely everything else. So everything else that they speak of is actually under the one only
It reminds
god.
me of the pagan Arabs of the time of the Prophet, peace upon him. So they believed in Allah, they believed in the creator, but they asked these other made up deities to ask Allah for them, sort of thing. So is it that sort of vibe?
Yeah, exactly.
But if they're Christian, is it kind of like maybe Jesus is one of those little gods that are? Is it like that?
Nowadays it's very strange because you find many that are, even those that say we are Christian, they mix some of the other things, and the Christians never had any problem. That's syncretism, right? You just say, it's fine as long as you're Christian. So, for example, if we go to Bolivia, it's a Christian country. They can say we are Catholic, but there's a tradition that if you build a house, there's like a witch market, and we've seen the fetus of the llama, and you buy a dead fetus of a llama, and they bury it under the house, and that is supposed to give you good luck or everything.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not saying everyone does that.
Yeah,
But even the Christians have some sort of non-Christian beliefs that now.
Do you know what? I'm really interested in history. It's exactly what happened to the Europeans when they were pagan and like the Romans brought Christianity to Europe. That's exactly what happened. Like Jesus become another one of the gods, many gods. You know, the Vikings still worship Woden, but then they thought they might get something from Jesus, for example, alayhi salam. So yeah, it's interesting how that story goes, isn't it? It's the same everywhere. Like everyone believes it in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in their hearts, but they kind of just like culture and people add to it over time and time. Anyway, bro. So we know their kind of the background of the people and that. When you talk about Islam to them, are they becoming Muslim in droves, or is it hard, or how is it? How is the dawah there?
In Latin America overall, I would say it's easy. Some countries easier than others, but I think it's very easy. They are very open, usually very friendly. Some places, for example, I remember right now an airport in Mexico. We wanted to pray, so I say, okay, first I'll ask an officer, someone over here, to see, can we pray there? And they look at, why are you even asking me? It's like, who cares? We don't care. While here, it's a bit like, let's see what they say. Maybe, or maybe it's like an uncomfortable question. But there it's like, do whatever you want.
Oh, mashallah, that's awesome.
I remember another story. We were in. It was late at night. We stopped in Mexico as well at a petrol station, and these women had a foreign accent, my accent. So where are you guys from? What are you doing? And once we told them that we came there to share the message of Islam, they said, wow, that's excellent. Can we please have some material as well? Can we read?
Wow. And
we gave them material. We had to leave, unfortunately. We couldn't stay there. But the next morning, one of these women texted Rafael, our outreach specialist, saying, I've been reading, I think, until 4 a.m. in the morning, and I really want more information. There is, mashallah, it's really, really
it's
good.
Amazing, isn't it, how it touches people's hearts. Like, I'm so glad that it's like, you know, they're really receptive to it and so on like that. Because I suppose in dawah, because obviously the sort of dawah I do is to English people, and they're quite a lot of people, when you even mention religion, it's like, no, it's like offish, and you got, so it's really nice. We can go, hey, do you want me to tell you my idea of the world? Yeah, go on then. No, this is cool. So you were talking about people becoming Muslim in Latin America. I overheard in the office that there's a masjid in the jungle. Is that true?
Yes, it's true.
Tell me about that.
In the Amazon rainforest.
It's crazy.
By the way, now we built one in Ecuador as well. That was the part of the last trip to Ecuador. There's a new Muslim community in the Amazon rainforest over there. And we said like a small masjid dawah center made out of their own materials, wood from there.
Alhamdulillah.
And alhamdulillah, their communities are growing. The same thing in Peru, and everything over there is different. That trip, I tasted fruits that I had never seen before, or I didn't know the names. Even the way that they carry the wood. One of these types of wood, they cut it from, I think, maybe 2-3 kilometers away. They need to throw it to the river, and the river carries the wood for a few hours. Then they pick it up, then they take it. It might seem easy here, like, we're building a mosque. Okay, we're just waiting for the truck to come. No,
it's not.
It's not like that over there.
When you hear the times of the Prophet, peace upon him, when they built the masjids, you could see that was definitely worship, you know, the struggle and the strife. Now we may like donate £1,000, and mashallah, donating £1,000 for a new masjid, there's so much reward. But having the physical, like putting each brick down, or even if it isn't bricks, it's wood, isn't it? You know, it's a different, must be a different level, man.
All the sweat from it. I remember we were in the jungle, it started raining, and I could hardly feel it because I was sweating so much from the heat and humidity that it's just a bit more water. But all the sweat, effort, exercise that you need to do is really, really nice, and to pray in a place that you are
that you've built. It must feel amazing.
It's really
mashallah. Like, so I'm really interested in there's two things I want to talk about. I want to talk about what it's like going for these missions out to different countries, what you do there and what happens, but also I want to know what it's like afterwards. So once once they're Muslim, they've accepted Islam. Do you chase up on them, or do you send someone out there? Let's talk about it, bro. So what's it? When you go off for a mission, you go, right, we're going to go to this country. We're going to give dawah. We're going to connect with these guys. What happens? What's the routine?
Yeah, it's so much harder than what you see later on, what people see in the video, which is all the nice things, and that's it. There's so many problems in between. Latest mission, so many even pills that we had to take for the altitude, oxygen, so many things. Not much sleeping. We had to drive maybe, I don't know, more than 24 hours, I'm sure. What we do is we usually have some contacts. It's not that we go anywhere and just start. We usually try to focus where we can get better results, of course. We go to that area that usually there's someone who knows that area, or maybe a few families, and we maybe invite them to eat or to speak or something like that. But we already know what will happen if they accept Islam. We have someone near, whether it's a volunteer or revert, like for example in this case in Peru, in Cusco, there's a volunteer over there. If it's in Peru, we know that the outreach specialist will stay there. We never do dawah and then leave, because also another thing, very huge difference between Latin America and the UK that might be hard for someone here to think of, is that here is very easy to outsource many things. Maybe the quality, it might not be good, I don't know, but there's so many mosques, there's so many Muslims, so many communities, that someone can have the luxury of saying, oh, I'll just do dawah, and as long as I know who will follow up, or there's this mosque, there's that mosque there, you can't do that, because you need to say, you need to take a plane 2.5 hours, so where there will be a mosque. It's impossible.
So I've seen in some videos, the whole village is taking shahada. I'm not sure if that was in Latin America or in Africa, but that's not just supporting someone through, oh no, I can't drink alcohol anymore, or how am I going to tell? That's a whole community being transformed. So it must take a lot of effort and support to get there, man.
Yes. In the numbers in Latin America, let's say, I wouldn't say are like Africa, where the big numbers are very common. But yes, it has. We've been to Oaxaca in the south of Mexico last time. 33 people accepted Islam in one village, which was almost everyone who was attending that.
That's amazing.
And it does take a lot of time. And usually, the faster people that take Shahada, the harder the follow-up later on is. So if someone says, I've been reading for 6 months or something, this and this and that, and perhaps they were even questioning a lot, once they accept Islam, usually like they will be more or less strong, let's say. But if someone after half an hour, they accept Islam, you need to take care of them. Even they will be like,
because maybe they accept through the fit. It calls the fitra, doesn't it? The message of Islam. But also, I'm guessing those speeches are quite emotional and and people go, I accept, and then their mates accepting and their mums accept, I'll do it, So you definitely need the aftercare. So what goes on in this aftercare?
Aftercare, there's the outreach specialist continues coming, sometimes with wife, for example, because most of the time, most of the readers are women as well. So female, we need women teaching them as well.
100%.
It has a lot of, it's not just let's say classes, it's building a connection with them, being friends with them. Yes, sharing meals, listening to them, to their problems. I'm going step by step. So first thing, of course, belief, tawheed, that's the main thing. Then they learn the prayer. But we know that many things will come later in time. It will come, but it's patient and building those connections. I remember last time we went to Mexico. We went with some of the UK members as well. And after the activities, Rafael there stays until after midnight speaking with them. And here in the UK, we're a bit more used to, there's an event, more or less from this time to this time. Okay, then we leave. It's you can't do that and then just leave. You need to be friends with them. You need to have a real connection with them.
And I'm sure it happens as well. I'm sure you make loads of friends. It must be awesome.
Yeah. And they asked us next day, they said, why don't you come here? We have breakfast. We go and show you, there's a waterfall near there. We went there with them. We told them a little bit more. We had some fun, shared breakfast, but that's the way that they learn and stay in Islam.
Really, that's awesome. So when you go on the trips to spread the message, how long are you out there for?
Me or the outreach specialist? The reason why I'm asking is usually the trips from here are slightly shorter, just because first the cost, and sometimes we go to different countries. The local outreach specialist can be more time over there, of course, but that's it. So if, let's say, we go to Peru or Mexico, could be for 1 week in each country, but the outreach specialist could be there 2 weeks, could be
makes sense.
3 weeks or something.
I just thought it'd be like, I bet the audience kind of want to know what goes on, like we've got this little place in the UK, and we're sending teams out to like places, 4 corners of the world, and how that works. So basically you go out for a week or so, and then the outreach specialist that lives in that area will continue the work.
Exactly. Yes. And there's so much more behind. It's not that we go there and the speech starts. We need to, even from the buying repellent, the mosquitoes love me. I don't know why. They never bite anyone else, but after I come to the UK, I still have my legs from small things like that to buying the food and preparing something to take to that area, to thinking every single thing of logistics. There's so much work before the Dawah than the actual speech and sharing time with them.
What's it like, man? So, like, because when you said food, I just forgot, like, there's no kebab joints in Latin.
No.
So, what do you do about food? Do you just eat vegetarian? Like I want to know what it's like behind the scenes a bit.
Yeah, so in many places, yes, or seafood. Though, I mean, we are open in the sense that some people eat beef, and I mean, that's fine. There's different opinions, and everyone knows their own land and everything. When it comes to eating while doing the Dawah, the good thing is that Latin America, many places in Latin America, as they are not as developed, they can slaughter, let's say, a lamb themselves.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. So last time we went to Mexico, to this village,
you can teach them how it's done as well. Like, See what I mean? Like, it's completely different. You've got like. Do you what it feels like? It feels like they've got there's a privilege with their lifestyle now. They've got a privilege of doing things that are closer to what the Prophet peace upon him did.
Yes,
because we go to Tesco, mate. We go to the supermarket. A little wrapped up bit of lamb. It says halal, and it's done.
Yeah.
But that's not what the companions of the Prophet peace upon him did, and so on like that. And you get the privilege of showing them how to do that, and they live that life. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yes.
So has there ever been a part where someone's got offended because you like kind of said, "Oh, I can't eat that," or if they maybe didn't know you didn't drink alcohol, for example, and what I'm trying to like kind of ask is the problems we might get if we're like interacting with non-Muslims, like they offer you a drink or or like the woman comes to give you a hug or shake your hand. What's it like there? How do they react?
Yes, very, very good question. First, the first point, food. We try to check before or let them know. So we let them know that we don't drink alcohol. And if there's food, we try to prepare something before. So, for example, in this case, we said we'll buy all the ingredients. You cook whatever you like, and we'll, of course, we think about it before, and we'll pay for that. And they cook it, and they prefer that so much more than buying something from outside.
Yeah.
And it was really delicious Mexican food.
Yeah.
I remember in Ecuador, in the Amazon, the indigenous people, the women, they drink, and they make their own alcoholic drink. They get something called, I think it's the yuca, and they chew it, and then they spit it somewhere, and they wait until it ferments. When we were there, one of the women offered that to us. So I said, Bassem, who's our local guy, I mean, we don't drink that. But he said, no, this time they know now, so they didn't wait for that to ferment. But it was still the spit. So Bassem said, he said, I'll have some.
Yeah, just
and he had one for all of us.
Yeah.
And I escaped in a polite manner, and I just.
Do you know what? It's such a nice gesture, though. Like we forget, like. Someone thought about they want to welcome you so much. They want to show you their culture.
Yeah.
Oh no, they can't have that because it's alcohol. Well, should we make a special batch for them? That's really nice.
They are so good. I mean, we were always welcome everywhere. They were bringing us more fruits. And do you like this one? Do you like that one? Fruits that I told you I'd never seen before. One is, maybe we can show the picture later. But it's like a really, really long one, green one that they take from the higher. There's a kid that needs to go up the tree, maybe 3-4 meters, with a long stick, and then trying to hit the tree for those to fall down. You open it, and there's like small things that you
What's
chew.
inside it?
It's like small black seeds.
Yeah. And
around them there's like some white stuff.
Wow.
And that's what you
What does it taste like? Can you describe it?
It's sweet and slippery.
Okay. Like a sweet avocado.
Maybe.
Cool.
Yes. Really amazing mangoes, watermelon. The fruits there are not like the ones over here that's imported from far away. That is the very, very local fruit. It's really, really nice. And regarding the women, all the Latin American nursery specialists are experts in trying to avoid these things, because there's much more contact with women than here. And you were mentioning shaking hands. There, shaking hands is a very formal thing. Here, most people don't shake hands unless it's a bit closer, right? There they kiss on the cheek.
Whoa.
That's the normal thing. So
man, that must be so awkward. Did anything like that happen where they come and...
Oh, they've tried many times, but you need to know how to walk and what to do. I remember recently in Mexico, like we went to a house, a non-Muslim house. They were welcoming us when they wanted to hear about Islam. There were a few women. I think if maybe 2-3 meters, when you're getting near, you just say, do like this or something. No, okay. For some reason he did that. It's very strange for them. Yeah. But you sort of let them know in a way. Yeah. And in the end, they liked it. They said, I really like how they respect that you show to women. In our culture, they said it's something very similar and this and that.
I think it's like when explaining it in the UK, like with shaking hands and stuff, I kind of explain it, the love I have for my wife, and it's so special that the only contact I want really is me and my wife, and that's something special for us, and I think a lot of people respect that, and you know, I think it can be quite awkward sometimes in, you know, job interviews and things like that, but when you're going out there to do dawah, the last thing you want to do is offend them with something. So it sounds like you guys do a lot of like looking into it and a lot of brainstorming to kind of jump those hurdles before you get there. So that's really good.
Yeah.
So what? By the way, actually, before we go on to the next bit, I wanted to talk about what IERA are doing next. But I want to ask, can I come? Sounds amazing.
Of course. Yes.
It really does sound amazing. But when you go out, when you go out for these trips, what's it like leaving your family behind, for example, for that long?
Yeah, it is an effort as well, and I'm sure for the viewers, because human being always likes whatever they don't have, whatever they don't do. So for the viewers, it's like, wow, you're traveling everywhere. Like I would like, it's like it might look like a holiday. It's not a holiday at all. But that's so good. Of course, it is good. You're doing dawah, but it is an effort as well. For example, in my case, thinking who will take my daughter to school. I'm the one who does the morning school run, and then I need to ask the other mothers of the girls that I take to school, can anyone cover me throughout this time? That's already one effort. Trying to do a big shopping before the 1 or 2 days before leaving, so that they don't need to make an effort as well. Trying to to leave us comfortable as, but still never the same as, of course, being with them. But alhamdulillah, I'm blessed. I'm sure the other brothers here as well, with families that know the importance of dawah, and they are getting rewarded as well. They are doing an effort and they are getting rewarded as well.
To explain to the audience how they would be getting rewarded for you going out and doing dawah, how does that work?
from people donating.
So for people donating and for supporting someone doing dawah in other ways. So like when a wife accepts it and looks after the house while you're gone, that people that can help financially or physically or whatever. How is it that they get reward for someone going out doing dawah? How does that work Islamically?
So excellent question as well. So I would say that first, that the hadith, that whoever invites to good will have the same reward as the person who is doing it. And at the same time, whatever is needed for that good to happen, whoever does it in the same way will get the same. For example, I cannot do it if this and this and that cannot happen. For example, I cannot do it if my family doesn't make an effort and it's not okay with that and everything. So they are in a way enabling me to do dawah. So just by staying here, in a way, they are getting rewarded as well. So anyone who's helping, for example, if someone is not able to go to the mosque, and let's say by going to the mosque he would get this and this and that reward. So I know he's not able to go, but I am able to take him. And I say, okay, brother, I know you live so far, and I always pass by your house driving in the car. If you want, I can take you. Then I will get my prayer and I will get his prayer as well. So any help that we have, it can be small, even from liking these videos or liking the fundraising, anything, even sharing the video. Yeah. Because maybe many of them cannot, let's say, donate, make dua for us. Yeah, that's also rewarded. Because Allah, if it's a dua to help another brother, Allah will answer it, and Allah will help you as well. Yeah. Sharing, liking, everything. Try to get as many good deeds as you can, because we all need them. We all need them. We are in need, really, of anything we can do. So yeah, whatever our viewers can do, inshallah, they will get rewarded.
It's almost like we're doing them a favor. It's like, do you want some free? All you have to do is like support this, and you get all that. Like, because when I remember looking into it when I first got into dawah, you get the reward for every good deed. That's like, if you took someone's shahada, right, and they live a life of good deeds, you'll get the reward for those good deeds, because you're the like bridge to their Islam sort of thing. But anyone that supported you to do that, they also, that reward isn't divided between you, and it's just you get the same. Exactly. So like the easiest way for someone to get reward from people becoming Muslim is by donating and helping and liking and dua and all that sort of stuff.
Yes.
Sometimes we feel bad about like, hey, like the like the video, but you're doing you a favor, mate. Like the video, like it now, and then you get the reward. So alhamdulillah.
Yeah. It's absolutely true. No one likes asking. For example, if anyone is in a fundraising video, let's say, this is not, but no one likes it. Do I feel comfortable saying, oh, can you please donate? No one. And by the way, none of that goes to me or to anyone. And who are we to gain anything from anyone? But we are, like you're saying, we're giving them an opportunity to get good deeds. In a way, they should thank Allah for putting us here, giving them those opportunities.
100%. Life's like that, though, isn't it? Like when you're a Muslim, you see the world completely differently, and everything that happens in your life is an opportunity or a test to do good or bad, or to attain reward. So even the simplest thing is liking a YouTube video gets you some reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, getting you, and the more you do good deeds you do, the more closer you get to him. So alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, yes.
So what's next, bro? What's the next projects that that you're going to be involved in
Latin America? We're doing all the time. We're doing so many things. Hard to think of.
It's all right.
But for example, there's new Muslim support to be done in the Andes, over 5,000 meters above sea level, where we went very recently. A place where we had to take oxygen. Some of the brothers don't feel well with the altitude. Alhamdulillah, I had no problems. I don't know why. All I know is I follow the diet that the local brother was telling me to follow, which is try to avoid fats, no meat, try to eat this and this and that, and I did it. Alhamdulillah, I felt well.
Did it work?
It worked, yeah.
Wow.
Because they think the lack of oxygen messes with the digestion, messes with everything, right? Yeah. But digestion as well. So like having a burger or barbecue before being so far above the sea level is not a good idea. Wow. Until once you get used to it. drinking the coca tea that they have as well. But there's new Muslim support there to be done. Of course, some brothers, alhamdulillah, accepted Islam. In Mexico, new Muslim support as well in Oaxaca. In Guadalajara, in Mexico, we are launching a big Dawah center there on top of one of the main universities in that city. That might be nice for you to see. What else? New teams being created in Colombia. More people accepted Islam. For example, last week in Argentina and Honduras and Cuba and Peru as well. Like, there's so many things happening at the same time. Mashallah, it's a really, really good job.
It's really cool, man.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Also, remember that we spoke about Medina. Many of the outreach specialists were in Medina. Some of them graduated from there as well. Others did the Arabic and did part of the university, the faculty. But I would say that AIRA has most of the active Medina Latin American students in the continent. Really, most of them are working with AIRA. That's really, really nice. Yes.
So how many Dua are there in?
Now we have over 20 in 12 countries.
Oh, wow.
12 different countries. And yet almost everyone except 2 are reverts, so they know the culture very well.
They are the people they're giving dawah to.
Exactly, yes. They've been through all the problems that the new Muslims have been they go through, because they were reverts themselves, so they have really that passion. And that's not just them, even the other 2 brothers, they're mashallah amazing. They've been living there for very long time, and they speak the language perfectly. So alhamdulillah, we have a very strong team in Latin America.
It's awesome. So you do training for the Muslims there to do dawah? So dawah courses, do you go out there and do that, or they still? Yeah, I was going to say they do.
Yes, cool. We do. For 2 reasons. One of them, because we always want to motivate people to do dawah, show them that it's not that they don't know enough to do dawah. Everyone knows enough to share whatever they know, and to train them as well, and to create teams, because this is not about me or you or Rafael, or this is about doing dawah and sharing the message with as many people as we can. So we need many people to do dawah. We need everyone to do dawah. So by training them and motivating them, we create teams in different cities that then we give them as well dawah materials, and we try to help them support them in them doing dawah as well, because there's such a lack of Islamic infrastructure, let's say, in Latin America, that there's many Muslims on their own, or even if they're in a city, that they hardly have any resources, and many of them still learn online mainly. And we do have classes or podcasts weekly as well from my year for the new Muslims and for non-Muslims. But in many places, recently as well, the last time we've been in Mexico, in Guadalajara, our plan was not to stay in Guadalajara, but we were there on a Friday. The local brothers say, okay, you do the khutbah. I don't know why, whenever I go there, they ask me to do it. But okay, I did it. And after I did, one of the brothers was saying, okay, but when are we having the class? I was saying, what class? But they see someone from outside coming, and they get excited. Can we learn? How can we learn? Is anyone going to teach me anything?
Oh, mashallah.
And they really want it. So that's why we are also trying to develop because many of these communities are formed by new Muslims mainly. There's something very nice as well, but with its own weaknesses or with own necessities, let's say. So we need to support them really. They will be the future dua and the current as well outreach specialists, let's say. Many of them, even some of our own outreach specialists accepted Islam with our outreach specialists. So they were non-Muslims a few years ago. They accepted Islam, and now they are giving dawah.
That's brilliant. Yeah, that's just like the dream, isn't it? It sounds so pure. Like there's communities out there that have never heard of Islam. They're accepting Islam. They're completely changing their life around to a completely different lifestyle. And then they're like, right, I need to give dawah now. Like, it's amazing. And it does sound very different to dawah that happens in the West. That's what I don't know anything about dawah other than what I see on iEra, like what it's like to give dawah to people from other countries, especially when you're not from that country as well. It must be quite difficult, but with subhanAllah, it's working so well. Like it's amazing. I can't believe like 30 odd people in one village become Muslim. You got a little like ghetto, a little Muslim ghetto in a village. Subhanallah, man, subhanallah. So it's Ramadan coming up soon, and normally we do some fundraising live streams to give the audience an opportunity to get some reward. Is there any fundraisers happening during Ramadan for any missions or any support that's happening in Latin America?
Yes, there will be. There will be for Africa, for Latin America, and mainly Philippines. In Latin America, we will be doing some for the Spanish translation of the Quran, which is like translated by one of our own artist specialists, Sheikh Isa Garcia in Colombia. And also some other materials like the Jesus booklet, because we've seen that. Again, another difference. In some places, if you're, let's say, maybe here, you're giving leaflets or materials about Islam, many won't accept it. Some might throw it to the floor. That's not the case in Latin America. They really like to read and learn. We've done some surveys as well with, I don't remember how many thousand, but a lot of non-Muslims and new Muslims about what they would like, and many of them say we want to read. So we want, they say we want books, because one thing is to hear from one person, which is fine as well, and many people are accepting Islam. But as you can see in any topic, depending on the person that you speak of, they might say this or that. But they say, no, I want the book, I want the source. So I want to read what your actual religion says, not what you say.
Yeah,
so,
that's cool.
Yeah, so they really like it. So we will be fundraising for both those things.
Awesome. So keep an eye out for that to get your opportunity, inshallah. Yeah, cool, man. It's been amazing talking to you. So Assalamu alaikum. Jazakallah khair, bro.
Wa alaikum salam. Let's do the next one in Latin America, inshallah.
Yeah, well, inshallah, I'm going to actually, I don't know if they'll cut this, but I'm going to try and come down and do some fundraising for the live stream. So I might be sat next to you raising money for the Dawah in Latin America. We'll see, inshallah.
Inshallah,
brilliant. So everyone watching, I hope you enjoyed that. It was quite interesting talking about Dawah, and I'm so used to English Dawah and European Dawah and Dawah in America, to talking about giving Dawah to people with completely different culture and lifestyle. It was awesome. So, but if you want to help out, guys, there's links down below to donate, inshallah, to help us spread the message across the world. Honestly, it's blew my mind about the idea of Latin American Muslims. The new Muslims become the people that give the Dawah, and they're just fresh new communities. It's mashallah. You could be a part of that reward, inshallah. So link down below. So from me, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.